Yeah, it was a Monday, and we were getting ready to decorate our Christmas tree. So we had dinner. We're sitting here at 7 o'clock at night, and three, maybe two, it was a chief, first class, and a chaplain in their dress blues showed up at the door. But in my mind, my whole life has been Navy. So Christopher was real good friends with the recruiters. When I opened the door, I just assumed they were recruiters, somebody that, knew Christopher. So hi, come on in. Let me put the dog out because you don't go getting dog hair on dress blues. And they're just kind of looking at me, and Rick came down the stairs and he saw it was the chaplain, and he knew at that point. And yeah. So, and they just come in and sit you down, and they have a spiel that they read that you hear on TV. We regret to inform you, and they read that whole deal.
I mean, did it seem sort of surreal to you? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
It was not, it just never entered my mind. I worried, but it never entered my mind.
You like being able to talk to the people that Christopher saw last, you know, and had spent all that time with him before.
Yeah, it was, because that was part of his life that we didn't participate in that. He joined here, but he got stationed in Lejeune. We saw him off, but it wasn't something that he was only in the Navy 1 year, 4 months before he was killed. So most of that's school, and so it wasn't really something we had a lot of time to get to know. He was only deployed with them for 3 months, and they're using satellite phones, but you get 1 to 3 minutes on a phone call, so the other guys were able to give us the stories, and
but you guys were a great gift for those boys coming back.
Yeah, I gotta say they were.
Is there something that they told you specifically, or can you remember just like anecdotally anything that really sort of,
they just
resonated?
talked about Christopher just like we know him. You know what I mean? He was the same person with them as he is at home. So to just know that he was the same, and the thing about those Marines, and Christopher, anytime he called home or anytime he talked about them, he referred to them as his Marines. Those were his guys, and he would do anything. And when I met them, I realized they loved Christopher the same. So knowing that he's with people that care about him that much, it made me feel so much better. Veterans Day 2008, and I was having a serious pity party. I was feeling sorry for myself. I was angry at the world. I was mad. I spent all my life taking care of the United States Navy. Everybody, this has been my dedication, and I was mad. I'm thinking, if this is what I end up with, and I shut my door. I didn't answer my phone. Rick, I don't know where he was. He wasn't home. And I sat and I was just going to feel sorry for myself all day. And at 3 o'clock, doorbell rings. For some reason, I got up and I answered the door. And here is this 6-year, 7-year-old little boy standing there. I don't know who this boy is. And he's standing there, and I look out, his mother's out on the street in her car. And he stands there with this piece of paper, and he had it folded up. And he says, "I made this card for you. And it's Veterans Day." So I open it up, and you'll see it upstairs. And I looked at this little boy, and I realized he's 7 years old, and he understands service, sacrifice, and appreciation. And I thought, I will never, ever feel sorry for myself and have another pity party ever again. I thought, if this little boy has figured it out, that I need to never ever do that again. So that was my blessing that day, where that little boy came in and said, "Don't you do that," and he just so pure heart. His mother's going, "I didn't even know what he had." She goes, "He just says, I have something for the Andersons. Could you drive me over to their house?"
Yeah.
So, and it's very simple, but it was that message from that little boy that tells you this nation really teaches and he taught a 7-year-old. I mean, obviously they came from his parents and from the school. He made this at school, you know.
And then a 7-year-old taught us.
Yeah, and I said, I learned my lesson that day, and I swore I will never, ever have a pity party. I'm going to be as grateful as that little boy, because that's my job. You know, and I looked at it when the boys came home, you know, I'm thinking, you know, I don't want them suffering from this war the rest of their lives. It's taken enough. You know, this is their friend, and they lost other friends because they lost 12. So they're all very close. You know, they didn't lose just Christopher. They lost several friends. And, you know, so I thought at my time, and I still do, it's our job. I want to live a good life so that way they know it's okay for them to live a good life. That's my job. They work, they sacrifice, they did this job, they serve our country so I can have a better life. I'm going to get up every day and I am going to live a good life. I am not going to do that ever again. And I hope that that's my example, that these other guys can look at it and go, you know, the Andersons are not walking around feeling like they have to mourn Christopher's death, that they can be happy. I want them to go, they can be happy too. That's our job. His name is Ryan Ludeman.
Have you talked to him since?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Turns out he just lives down the street.
He lives around the corner, and his brother and sister would play with the neighbor kids. So yeah, he's just a wonderful family, and yeah, just an amazing. He came up and just hugged me one day. Just an amazing little boy.
That's an etching of Christopher Stone in Arlington,
Okay.
and these are the kids that did it.
That's from Longs Peak Middle School.
Oh, cool.
They did their DC trip. They understand, you know, and it was personal. It was important to
I
them.
think the recurring theme here is just we have so many friends that we've developed just because they volunteered to be friends because they want to be nice. People, you know, give what they can, if it's a smile or a handshake or a ride in an airplane someplace.
Yeah.
And it's just been all this wonderful support and all these new friends that we've had that's really taken the sting out of the loss.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's. I think it's easier when you feel like you share it with the nation. I really felt like Christopher, his death wasn't just ours to carry around with. It was truly something I thought the whole nation was helping us. They just help us carry this around, and people will say to me, I don't know how you do it. And I thought, you know, quite honestly, I really don't know how I do it either, but I realized it's not me. It's the support of everyone else. When you've got people that are so caring,
Friends, family, complete
hold
strangers.
me up, it makes it a lot easier, you know, to get through every day, because you're not. I never felt Christopher's loss was my personal. I thought it was shared by many, so it made it easier.